Hello and welcome to the Hey Coach podcast. I'm Ryan Strickland, joined by head coach Michael Langston and Santa's little helper, Tyler Pasley. Head coach, Tyler Pasley. Apologies. How we doing, fellas?
I'm great. I'm happy to be back.
Paz, how are you doing?
Good.
Good? Okay, sweet.
Good.
Welcome back to Hey Coach, what used to be a one-take podcast, which is no longer
That's not
true.
true. That's not
Which
true.
is
That
no
wasn't-
longer
that-
true.
No, that wasn't true prior to this.
It's always been true. I know my truth. But no, welcome back to you guys for our very first official holiday edition of the Hey Coach. And by holiday edition, I mean it just comes out tomorrow on Christmas Eve. So a Merry Christmas to everyone out there listening, except for Pasley, because he's a bit of a punk. So,
Yep. Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas. Paz, you want to shout out a Merry Christmas to the folks at home?
Wow. Okay.
I'll do it at the end.
Moving on.
Okay. Well, I'll do something at the end too, and it won't be able to get cut. So, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a really good time. Langston, it's good to have you back. We had Coach Peyton Mulligan filling in for you last episode. He did great, but I am happy to see you.
Yeah. No, I listened. It was a great ep. If my audio sounds a little different today, it's because I'd like to shout out the night shift squad at work
Ooh.
for my Christmas present. So shout out you guys. I won't use your names to protect your anonymity, but we
will.
appreciate you.
Shout out Derek. Shout out Brittany. Shout out Esteban.
Sure.
There we go.
But yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, I like it. Paz, you got anything? Anything you want to throw in?
I didn't watch. I haven't watched a single episode back. Was Peyton actually unattentive, like Daniel said? I did not notice that when we were like growing. I know he's addicted to his phone, so I know he probably checked his phone. But was he not paying attention?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the YouTube. I listened.
Okay.
So
I'll say this.
I couldn't tell you.
I'll say this. Daniel has every right to call out Peyton for wanting to be the first guest, but only listening to snippets, while Daniel
Yeah, that's
Langston
wild.
listens
That is
to every
true.
second. Okay, I don't care how bad Chicago sports talk radio is, Peyton. Be better. Okay, be better.
Well, it's crazy he listens to them because those guys are really bad.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of people say the same thing about us. A lot of
That's
people
okay.
are out here saying the same thing.
Do you guys listen to radio guys like that though, where all they do is just throw out like reactionary, like, oh, the Red Sox are going to trade for Bobby Witt Jr. and give up a bucket of sunflower, like guys like that, like they're just so stupid.
I watch a lot of Nightcap, Shannon Sharp, and Ocho Cinco's. Like they summarize like NFL weeks, but like that
That's
and
not what
First
he's
Take.
talking about.
I know, but like that's all I watch for sports media is like that and First Take. So
When I was this last year, when I was very much on the Fire Tory train, I was definitely tuning into some clips to see what he was saying on his weekly radio segment, to see how he was defending some of the decisions he was making.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really.
Yep. You know what? Speaking of Christmas, let's do this. Do you guys have a favorite Christmas gift you've ever gotten?
Oh yeah.
What you got, Paz? What's your favorite?
Dude, I'll never forget when my parents got my brother and I.
The old cube. Dude.
So we opened up all of the presents, and then they had the GameCube and like 10 games, which games back then were probably like a nickel compared to what they are now. But they had all this in the hutch, hidden, so we didn't even know we got them. And then they just like, hey, here you go, like best gift ever. I'll never forget that. That was fantastic. And the GameCube Elite system.
Magic of Christmas, dude. Magic of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Langston?
I feel like I got a lot of good gifts as a kid. I think one that stands out was me and my brother got a 4-wheeler one year for Christmas. And there was like a little scavenger hunt thing. I mean, we were fairly young, but that was cool to like open up like the back door and there's like a little 4-wheeler out there. That was pretty fun. So we'll go with that.
Heck yeah. Kind of same as you, Mike. I've gotten a lot of fun stuff. Like my parents, my parents were always very, very much in like, they're just like, it was classic Christmas. They tried to get me what I liked, got me some stuff that I didn't even know I wanted, but like I'm glad I got. But God, I think I got a PS5 when they first came out, and like I played it for years and years. But I think the reason why it's like will go down as my favorite gift is that was my first Christmas with Kylie, and her and
Dang,
my
I heard the
mom.
voice crack and everything. That's
Well,
crazy.
no, it's because I actually had a mint from Icebreakers Mints, Spearmint. Got the phlegm going a bit, but it was just cool hearing back from Kylie about her and my mom. Were like, trying to figure out how to get one, and it was like their real first kind of thing of like working together or just kind of like interaction without me. So like it was just kind of cool to, see because oh god, Kylie and I would have been dating for about 6 months or something like that, 6 or 7. So yeah, it was fun, good time. I'm gonna go put my shirt on. But no, there we go. Favorite Christmas gifts. Let's get into today's topic, which is this a holiday episode? Yes, but are we still going to talk about coaching in baseball? Absolutely. So what do we got today? We have this. It's a 2-part question. I'll just start with the first part for you guys. Both of you 2 head coaches currently, so it's very, very much something that you guys deal with. Maybe. No, I'll say daily. It's on the daily, which is where is playing time earned? I'm sure a lot of people have this question. If you were ever like just an athlete or just the parent of an athlete, it's always something, right? Playing time is always, at the forefront of what we do, whether it's a high school team, a summer team, a college club team. Playing time is always like what people, I don't want to say care about the most, but maybe think about the most when it comes to their kid or themselves as the athlete. So as a head coach, where do you see playing time earned? And I'll let either one of you, whoever wants to go for it, go for it.
I can be pretty quick here, Paz. I think for me, like, so throughout the fall, we, at least at NAU, for the Jacks, we practice twice a week. We scrimmage at least one of those days. So the work you're putting in practice, as well as the kind of performance and that translation into game speed, is what is going to earn you that initial playing time for me. That kind of coupled with, we have quite a few returners this year. Like you have like almost like a ledger on all of these guys, right? You've seen them play. Like we have a lot of new guys that came in and they have maybe like 30 to 40 plate appearances in the fall, but we have returners that, including this fall and then like last season, we have like a 100 plate appearance sample size. So kind of knowing what a player is and like how they're going to contribute to the product on the field is kind of where playing time is earned for me going into the season. Now, once the season starts, we obviously are mixing up lineups. We're getting different guys, different looks on the mound. I mean, we're still trying to win, but during like a 3-game series, we may run a couple different lineups out there depending on, who's hot or whatever matchups we have coming up. So if a guy performs in limited time, they're going to see an increased role. So whether that is a guy who is coming out of the bullpen and he comes out and he throws, 3 scoreless innings in relief, well, that's going to make a difference going forward in terms of like, is he going to be one of the first guys you go to coming out of the pen? Is he going to earn a start? The same thing goes for guys getting in the lineup, right? Like a lot of times we use the DH spot to cycle guys through and get them at bats. And if a guy goes out there and he goes 3 for 4 in the DH spot just because we wanted to get him some at bats, there's a good chance he's going to find himself in the lineup a little bit more. So taking advantage of the opportunities that you are given and that you are provided is going to be the number one way, as far as I'm concerned, to earn more playing time, because playing time isn't given, it is earned in our program.
Very good, very well put. Paz, for you, it's not different. It's a different setting, but I don't think the idea of playing time, how it's earned, is different, especially for you because I know you. But can you tell us, in your position where you're a head high school coach, you really didn't get a lot of time with your guys in the fall. Mainly it's been like workouts and practices, but no real game speed stuff, against other people. How do you, going into the spring, how is game playing time, going to be decided for you and your guys?
Yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot because as we all know here, I had 14 games scheduled for us in the fall. We played zero. We had two different doubleheaders scheduled with you guys. They both got rained out. We just had honestly the craziest fall that I've ever been a part of. But what I told the guys for the fall, just to give you guys some insight on this, and for anybody else out there listening, the fall playing time, because we had so many football players, I told guys, whoever's working the hardest, whoever shows up the most, that's going to be the leadoff hitter. I don't care who it is. I don't care if we win these fall games. Like, I just want to see you guys play baseball. So I remember that first game we had scheduled, like, I had a senior hitting leadoff. I had like a junior hitting three hole. I had a freshman hitting fifth. Like, it was all over the place because it was just like, hey, who wants to be out here? That's how you're going to earn playing time in the fall. Who's going to work the hardest? Who's going to show up the most? And that included weights, practices, and then we did a couple team bonding things. So in the fall, that's how I did it. But for the spring, one thing I actually don't think I've told you guys about, I'm the only new, or I'm one of two new coaches in the program. The only other guy is a guy I hired to be our pitching coach. So everybody else is coming back from last year. They have seen these guys for X amount of years, and a lot of them, they've seen them since some of these kids were 12 because it's a small town. You kind of see all these guys grow up together. This is my first time seeing guys, so like I have differing thoughts on what I see compared to other coaches that have seen them forever. So like that's been an interesting piece of perspective where I'm not going to name the player, but like there's a player that I have a different viewpoint on compared to what a lot of the other coaches do, and he had this role the last several years, and I don't see that role being a thing. I see him in a completely different role. But one thing I think that's interesting is the role I see him in. I actually think is going to make him better. Of course, we'll see come springtime, but that's a little piece of kind of maybe inside baseball that can be a little not challenging but different when you're coming into a small high school where you all these kids have been seen by all these coaches. But the way playing time is going to be earned is it's similar to Langston, where I try to do as much live work and practice as possible because if you don't train for that, you're just going to struggle in games. The guys that don't have the casual practice habits are going to play the most. If you can practice and try to get the feel of game speed in practice, like those guys are going to find their way in the lineup. The guys with casual practice habits, and this is something I've been kind of seeing a lot recently on Twitter with college baseball coaches at the D1 levels, like the guys that have the casual practice habits just are not gamers. And it's something that I think we all probably know, but I don't know if I've ever really like, oh, casual practice habits are going to kill you. But the guys that grind and practice and that make it feel like a game, those guys are going to work their way in. And then something that I'm a huge believer in, and I think Mike is too, but I'd be interested to hear your perspective on this. The guys that hit are going to play. If you can hit, you're going to find yourself in the lineup. When I was in college, our first baseman was a horrid defender, but he put on a laser show in batting practice. And then when he got in the games, laser show. He literally couldn't catch the ball at first base. He ended up moving to DH. He stayed in the game, obviously, and then we ended up shifting some things around. But it just always works out where the guys that hit are going to play because you need guys on base. But the guys that are grinding in practice and make it feel like a game, the guys that are picking teammates up, like the elite teammate guys, like I think those are the guys that end up playing. And I am a huge believer in you earn 99% of your playing time in practice. Yeah, there are things that can happen in a game where it's like, oh, he just showed us something. We have to get him in. I think more of that earning playing time in a game is like, oh, our seven hitter is hitting 700 through 10 games, you should probably move him up. But I truly think almost everything is earned in practice. But if you're going to hit, you're going to play, and we'll figure out the defense. And of course, that probably doesn't shock you guys because I'm the hey, let's hit lasers and not do small ball. But like, I truly think, regardless of your hitting philosophy, I think if guys are hitting, you're going to play.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple times where Strick and I have actually, like, I don't want to say butted heads, but we've had differing views where he's said, hey, this guy can go get it in the outfield. Like, he needs to be playing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he's hit a $130. Like, we can't, he's a hole in the lineup. We can't put him out there. Like, and so we had guys last year that we were playing, what we would consider out of position because we wanted to keep their bats in the lineup. And did it hurt us defensively at times? Absolutely. But I don't know that whatever was hurt defensively was outweighed by putting someone in there who maybe would have made the play, but then gone 0 for 4 with 3 punchies, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of a give and take, right? Like, ideally, you want someone to be well-rounded and be able to do everything well, but that's just not the world we live in. And so sometimes we kind of have to pick and choose, and I tend to pick the bat. The bat will play. It's what my dad always told me growing up. He's like, if you're hitting, they will find a place to put you. And I played a bunch of different positions in high school, bunch of different positions in college, because I did my best at all times to make it really hard to take me out of the lineup, and be a productive hitter. So I did want to touch on something you talked about, like in the fall, getting stuff with like the weight room and practices and stuff. And I think it's important to make a point for high school guys that yesterday I just had a meeting with one of the local high school coaches here to talk about field use and stuff, old Coach Cristo over at Coco. And he made a good point where if it's in the fall and you are not playing football, or you get into the wintertime and you're not playing basketball, especially if you're new to the program and you want to be a part of the program, you gotta get in there, because those are the times where your coaches are going to be able to evaluate you. Like, you can't wait until tryouts just hoping that whatever you put on in tryouts is going to be enough, right? He made the point of, he knows what he's going to get from a lot of his returners. He goes, so if those guys are playing other sports, then he already knows what he's going to get. Whereas someone who's new, like, try to be at as much as you can, because that's what kind of sets you apart and gets the coach's attention, so that if there is like a kind of a toss-up between you and somebody else, like, that trust factor is going to be there from the coach. So it was a good point he made yesterday. I thought it kind of fed into kind of what you were talking about, especially at the high school level. So I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to that point. I thought it was a good point he made yesterday. So,
well, and to kind of echo that real quick, and then I'll let you talk, Strix. I know you've unmuted like 4 times. One thing I've done that I actually didn't think I would do prior to being a head high school coach, I have not once told these guys, "Hey, you have to be out here." I hope that we get more multi-sport athletes. Like, I would get anywhere from 8 to 15 guys on a given day, and sometimes, like, a lot of my kids work. We have a ton of kids that have like basically full-time jobs, kind of crazy, but a lot of my kids work, so sometimes they wouldn't be able to get out of work. But I told them, hey, this is all optional, but the way that, like, when we have games, the way that you will earn your PTs, you just have to be here. But again, it's optional. Like, if you have things to do, go take your schoolwork, whatever you want to do. I think some of that too is like, if you have the relationships built with guys, if you have the culture of like, hey, I'm gonna go get my work in 4 days a week, and then Friday I can go work or whatever it is, like, I think that's really beneficial too. But I have tried to get as many multi-sport athletes as possible. We had so many football players the fruits of the labor of guys work playing other sports is going to benefit you as a coach because your kids are going to be more athletic from that other sport. I only have two basketball players. I hate that so much. Hate it. I have a kid who can windmill dunk who does not play basketball. He like legit like throwing balls off the backboard, slam like it's insane. But I wish we had more multi-sport guys. We have a ton, but I wish those for any coaches out there that are like, oh, you need to be here, you need to be here. If they're playing other sports, let them play their other sport. Don't bug them. It's going to help you in the long run because they're going to be more athletic from that other sport.
Yeah, and if I wasn't clear, he definitely wasn't bashing those multi-sport
Right,
athletes.
right.
I think he was mostly saying, like, if you're not, though, like, we don't want you
Be
doing
here.
nothing either.
Sure.
So
Yep.
be here if you're not, but if you're playing those other sports, like, great, because him having been, like, he was a football guy, right? So, like, he understands kind of the multi-sport athlete aspect of things and how it keeps you athletic. But, no, I thought it was a good point he made yesterday, and figured it deserved a spot on the pod. So, Strick, go ahead, man.
It's nice given this opportunity. Thank you both for allowing me into your space. I acknowledge that I am on in your area, we could say. But no, I want to take a slightly different approach on that, which is I'm not bashing, but I do want to call out the guys who aren't multi-sport athletes who aren't showing up. And if you're working a job, like if you're doing something that has to be done that keeps you from your sport, that's fine, obviously. Like if you're focusing on grades, like if you're just not a grades guy and you're like, I really need to lock in now, all that stuff, that's fine. But if you're a kid who's just like, I could go today, but I'm not, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. And that's just the truth. If you're somebody who's sitting at home and you're like, well, my buddies are going to go have a bonfire, I could either go to that or I could go to weights and go hit it, go upstairs and hit like they do at Coco. And you take the bonfire. Yeah, you're young, you're a kid, you're supposed to be having fun. But don't be shocked in the spring if your production isn't what you think it should be, or if you're not seeing the playing time. If you're a returner and like let's say you're a junior and there was a sophomore who's getting more looks than you, you may have to think, well, was that sophomore there every time I wasn't? Was this sophomore spending all of fall and winter getting better when I was just kind of, horsing around and not really working to get ready for the spring? So it's a weird fine line to walk because we were all high school athletes at one point. But I will also say that we're all high school athletes that eventually made it to the next level because I assume all of us took those opportunities to go work and get better over going and, participating in tomfoolery. So if you're one of those guys who's just like, I don't want to do it, you reap what you sow. Like eventually that's going to catch up to you and bite you right on the butt. So that's just me. That's just my kind of take on it because I'm a high school teacher. Being in the building and seeing all these athletes with great potential who are just like, whatever, drives me nuts because I think we can all say we were never like the most God-gifted talent athlete. We just had to work. And when you see these guys with God-given abilities that don't work, it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
I read it. That kind of reminds me of something. I read an article the other day about skill acquisition and how development really happens. I was going to send it to you guys. I forgot. I apologize. I'll send it to you after this. 90% of your youth, like studs, they are like when you get to become an adult athlete, 90% of those studs are different. So skill acquisition sometimes is kind of random, and I think you guys all probably played with that kid when he was 12. It's like this kid's going to go to the MLB, and then he ends up not being very good, or he ends up just kind of being average. However you want to look at it. Um, there is really sometimes no rhyme or reason why you can get better. Hard work never fails. If you go and do the things you should be doing, things are probably going to happen for you, but it was interesting to see that article of like we have all this single sport specialization now. We have kids that play 8 sports on 9 different club ball teams and they're going from one tournament to another and like it's pretty chaotic now, but it was really interesting to see that article on skill acquisition and see that 90% of your youth stud athletes are not that same 90% as adults. But I think that there probably is a common denominator in there of like that 90% is probably still really working extremely hard at their craft. Um, I want to ask you guys a question because Dalton and I, who is going to be on the pod at some point, we're talking about this. When you guys in the fall are looking at like your returners, your new guys, your contributors, your reliever, however it is, do you guys notice that there are levels to like the level of work, the level of execution? I was talking to Dalton about this and these kids that, like right now, I have a kid that's already committed, and his work ethic and his execution is just different than like a sophomore. Like it's just noticeably different. Do you guys notice that? And do you guys have like a rhyme or reason to why that is the case?
So, unlike me, I'll jump in first. Um, but yes, we do. Like there are freshmen who have come in. Like one freshman, I'll say right off the bat, who stood out almost immediately. Shout out Kitty, Braden Kitmoto. I mean, the guy's the hardest worker.
Kit Middo.
Kit Middo. Sorry, that's why I just say Kitty. Meow. But no, Kitty. Kitty works hard. He's not there to mess around. Like he's a guy who's going to go 100% on every rep, regardless about how far away he is from third on a PFP bunt coverage. He's going to let it rip, and it's going to send the third baseman scattering. But like he's a freshman. He's coming in. Gunnar bless him. Came in as a freshman. Just absolute psychopath. And I think a lot of it, not to get like too preachy or too like what goes on outside of baseball, but like it's like a nature and nurture sort of thing, and it has to do with like what did their home life look like, and what program were they in? You know, were they in a program that valued hard work and had coaches that really drove them to work hard and show up every day, or were they in a program that was just kind of like, we're out here, we're having fun, it's high school baseball. But then again, it's also personal. I think Gunnar bless him and Kitty, they're just wired to be hard workers and not let anybody outwork them. So there are levels to it, 100%, and I think it has a lot to do with what program did they come from, and just kind of how they were brought up.
Yeah, I think some of that too is setting those expectations early for your program, right? One of the first things we did once we had our roster set was sit down and say, hey, these are the expectations here. The expectations are that you're going to come in, you're going to work hard, you're going to earn everything you get. Whether you're a returner, whether you're a guy who has now been voted as a captain, we basically came out and said, nobody's safe. Like, you better come out, you better work. And we had a lot of guys that fed off of that energy and came out and said, like, I'm coming for your jobs. And to me, that healthy competition really fostered an environment where guys are coming out and they're working hard, because those who have a job don't want to lose it, and those who are on the fence as to whether or not they have a job, they're scratching and clawing to get one. And so making sure that even regardless of wherever they came from, whatever program they came from, but you set the expectation in your program that like your hard work and your effort is what's going to earn you your playing time. I think can light a fire under the right people. And to be honest, if that doesn't light the fire under someone, then to be honest, it's probably not someone that's going to play that much. Like if they don't want to compete in practice, how could I possibly let you compete in a conference game? Like there's no chance. Like you won't compete against your friends. Like I'm not going to let you go out there against guys that want to beat the brakes off us and think you can just flip the switch, because that's not how it works. Like you've got to be able to compete, and you've got to be able to come out and work hard during practice to really solidify your spot in the lineup or on the mound. So
That's Mike, that's a really good addition to what I said, because you're 100% right. You can come from any program with any sort of expectation, but walking into a new program that has a higher level of expectation, it's a man maker. It's either going to make you a man, or it's going to show you that you're not ready to, quote unquote, be a man, whatever phrase you want to use for that. But you're 100% right. Like, walking in and having you be like, hey, this is how we're doing things, it's going to click with some, it's going to click for others. So yeah, 100%. One thing I'll say about like the need to compete, I'll give our outfielders a little shout out here, because whenever we played Hit the Hat, well, God, must be like a month or so ago now, and like they were competing the whole time. They were talking some smack back and forth, but the minute someone hit the hat, it was like everybody was celebrating. So it competing and having that will to compete, the culture. Shout out the culture, shout out the Migos. Having that really does do really good things for the team. So setting that expectation from day one of, hey, we're going to compete, doesn't just make it better for, selfishly yourself, but it gives you opportunities to see your friends succeed too, which is, I thought was just a super cool moment for me as a coach to see a kid hit the hat and the entire outfield squadron just kind of go nuts. Like that was a lot of fun.
Paz, I know you're going to say something, but I'm going to interrupt.
How's it feel?
I think that not even just the kids, right, the boys, but having a coaching staff that feeds into that competition aspect as well. Like, you can't expect something from the guys that you don't expect of yourself, right? And so if there's any question to those boys how much I care, how much I want to compete, how much I want to win, understand that there is no question. And I try to bring it every day with that passion and that intensity to show them that this isn't just a hobby for me. This is something that I truly care about. And I know that the guys that I've brought in, as assistants also care and want to see them succeed and want the program to be successful just as bad as I do, or else they wouldn't be here. So, sometimes my competitiveness and my fire manifests itself in maybe not the most productive way. I do have a tendency to get loud at times.
Scary.
But I hope that guys can understand it's not because I want to be like this authoritarian figure, or like I'm just, for lack of better words, a dick. Like, I think it truly is like, I want to see them succeed. I want to see the program succeed. And when guys aren't performing to the level that I know they can perform to, I take it personally, because clearly I didn't do something to get you there. So if I'm mad, it's pretty rare that I'm mad at the boys. I'm more mad at myself that I didn't properly prepare you to face whatever level of competition or whatever obstacles we may be facing that day. So if any of those guys are listening, if I yell, it's not usually because I'm mad at you. I'm usually upset that I didn't prepare you properly for what we were going through that day.
Real quick, Pat, I'm going to interrupt you. Because
you're good.
I'm interrupting you. Sorry. I'm interrupting you. Stop talking. I have a really funny story that goes into Langston kind of having one of those moments where he's upset with himself, but he's just, he's outward with it. He doesn't keep it in. Beginning of the year, we tried this drill for the first time called relay domino or cut domino, whatever it's called. And it wasn't going that well to start. And it was, the outfielders were doing great. It was a new thing, a lot of moving pieces. So like, it was just confusing. And I remember the guys in right field went, "Coach, we don't know who the hell we're throwing to. There's a lot of guys standing. There's a lot of guys, like, who are we throwing to?" And I was like, "Let me go clear it with Skip. I'll go figure this out." And I jogged up and I was like, "Hey, Mike, right fielders want to know who they're throwing to." And he hits me with one of these, the guys with their goddamn hands up. And I said, okay. And I jogged back and I said, look for the guys with their hands up. Oh, good times.
But since then we've made adjustments to that particular drill where
It's so good.
infielders, if you're out of this particular iteration of the drill, like you need to take a knee because the outfielders can't pick the guys with their hands up out of everybody else that's standing. Like, that's reasonable, and that's something that I didn't think about prior to starting the drill for the first time. We also had issues with infielders not being where they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be there during that drill, and so we had
Come on, Nate.
we
Come on,
had
Coach Flo.
a little we had a little meeting of the minds there at second base shortly after I had that conversation with Strick. But yeah, ever since we've ran it after that,
it
has been phenomenal, and it's a great drill. And if anybody wants info on it, feel free to reach out to me, and I can send you the video that I got it from. I'll look it up because I think it's worth shouting out the Instagram handle that I got it from. So I'll try to find it while you guys are talking. But it's a great drill. We just had to work out some kinks, and I was really frustrated that I didn't think of those kinks prior to starting the drill. Like, I was really, really disappointed with myself, and it came out to other people. So I apologize.
That was fun. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be nose to nose with a great white out in the open ocean, just ask Langston a very mundane question when things aren't going right. Okay, just you'll figure that out real quick.
Real quick, Langston said something about if you can't compete with your friends, how can you expect to compete in a conference game? I had a very similar conversation with our guys about kind of checking your teammates on some things, and I told them, like, you guys already have the relationship of you guys are really good buddies, some of you best friends. That should be extremely easy to say, hey, Langston, quit being an idiot. Let's get the drill right. Or like, hey, Strick, lock in. Like, that should be easy to get on your buddies. And secondly, I never once in my life took it easy on a friend, ever. And I know for a fact you did not either, Langston, because you don't take it easy on anything already won, and that's how it should be. But that's such an easy thing to do in practice to kind of wrap up my last thoughts on the playing time thing. If you can go out and practice and dominate your buddies, you are going to have those habits in a game. And when you hate the other team, it gets a heck of a lot easier even there. And there's, to kind of add another sport into here, I remember my sophomore year playing basketball. We did like a 3-on-3 tournament kind of thing on a Saturday practice. And the teams were handpicked by the coach. So like they were, I think strategically, like, we're trying to make this kid mad to see if he can overcome this challenge, and that kid mad, to so on and so forth. And I remember I got paired up with a couple of my closer buddies. I'm like, hey, we're not losing a single game. And we ended up dominating the whole thing. And like all three of us started the next game. Like, sometimes there's strategic things that coaches do to try to get you as a player kind of feeling like, hey, it's game day. Like, let's go. You should always, as a player, step up to the challenger and like, hey, I don't care if this is my best friend of going against, like, I'm not losing today. But I thought that was something that was very well said, because it's such an easy thing to do of wanting to dominate your friend in practice. Let them know after the drill's done. Like, that's so easy to do, and that comes out in a game, and that's really good stuff.
I found that account, by the way. It's Jake Banwart. At Coach Banwart 20. So give that guy a follow. Tons of really good drills. I'll send his account to Strick, and maybe he can figure out how to link it in the YouTube. I don't know. He's a pretty smart guy, so we'll figure it out. You're muted, so
we'll put it on screen somewhere. We'll put it on there. We'll put his @ and maybe we'll put like a screenshot of his account.
You want me to just send you a screenshot?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That works. Well, perfect. Real quick, we can spend a few minutes answering the second part of this question, and we kind of already have through answering the first, but I would like you guys just to kind of have like a really quick, summary, a really quick, just kind of a hey, here's how. But what factors contribute to picking that next guy up when you're looking down the bench? So I think we've all been as a coach in a situation where we're just like, God, I need somebody. I need somebody to go out there and throw strikes. Our starting second baseman, just missed his third ball of the game and spiked his glove into the ground. So I got to pull, I'm pulling him. Who am I putting out there? And sometimes it's not always a super easy thing to do. I think if there's ever a time where you've been a coach, anything above, let's just say like middle school ball, it's not the easiest thing to do. There's not always a clear exact next guy up. It might be a guy who only plays third. He's never played second in his life, but he's just been doing the things right. So it's like, hey man, I'm going to put you in a tough spot, but I need you out there. So for you guys as current head coaches, what are those factors? What do guys have to be doing in order to be that next guy up?
Yeah. So something that I know that the assistants on my staff just absolutely love that I do is every once in a while I will ask them to basically provide me with a depth chart at whatever position group they coach. Strick calls it homework. I don't think he likes it very much, but I ask him to do it anyway because he's the one that kind of has his hands on these guys and is seeing them firsthand. Like during practices, I kind of float. And so I may not see everything that's going on, right? Like we have guys, you guys need to get it together. All right.
I'm sorry. I was fine.
Sorry, there's a squirrel.
You need to get it together.
It's the damnedest thing. There's a squirrel outside playing the steel drums. I'm sorry if you
You're
can see it. If you can see it right now.
Real problem.
I'm gonna go on mute.
So, no, I lost my train of thought. So basically, I'll have Strick give me, Strick will give me a depth chart on kind of outfielders, positions, and this and that. Which to me, outfielders, I know that there's a difference between like left and right field and center field. Like I understand that, but to me, like go catch the ball. Like if our center fielder goes down, then almost like that fourth guy up to me is the guy that we trust the most, the guy that Strick has told me he trusts the most, because he's the one that is seeing everything that they're doing, right? Similar with infielders. Infielders, I think, is a little bit more, it's a little more touchy because we only have maybe 2 to 3 guys that I would really trust to like throw at shortstop, right? Whereas like a guy who plays third, I'd probably be more willing to let him play second base, vice versa. Like those guys to me can be a little bit more fluid. And at that point, then it's going to come down to like who's been performing in practice, who Coach Flo has told me that like, and Coach Miles, who they've told me like, hey, this guy's been performing really well in practice. He's been working really hard. And I lean on those guys a lot for like, hey, GCU in the fall was a great example of we put Cash O'Connor at third base, and he hadn't played one pitch at third base in the fall. But I literally just asked Nate, like, hey, do you think he can play third base? And he said, absolutely, no doubt in my mind. And so we put him out there. So like your assistants, as long as if you have good assistants, are going to be able to tell you what they think guys can do and what they can't do. And so leaning on that knowledge, that firsthand knowledge from those guys, as well as, to, I don't want to say an equal extent, but guys that are good teammates, guys that are working hard in practice, like those are going to be the guys that get the looks over the guy who's moping at the end of the bench because he isn't playing, right? The guy who's engaged in the game, the guy who's being a good teammate, picking up his teammates, going and getting foul balls, is definitely going to get a look over someone who's like, I should be starting, so I'm just going to sit at the end of the bench and I'm going to pout and, be a bad teammate. Like, those guys, to be honest, a lot of times they don't even get a second look from me. Like, you need to be in the game, you need to be engaged, you need to be a good teammate. And that goes even further than just being a good or a bad teammate. That's like, if you're not engaged in the game, then you don't know the game situation. You don't know the score. You don't know the outs. You don't know what's going on. I can't put you out there. Like, I just cannot put you out there if you don't know what's going on in the game because you've been pouting. So, kind of a long-winded way to say, like, I lean on my assistants, and then those guys that are good teammates, have been working hard in practice, they're going to kind of get that first look, and it's kind of a balancing act of whether, you might have a guy that's super talented but isn't engaged. Like, I may go with a guy that maybe isn't quite as talented but has been a good teammate, has been engaged, and has been working hard as the next man up.
Yeah, I my answer is more similar to what you were saying at the end there. And I think I don't know if you were intentionally doing this or not, but the Cam Chi reference that you had of kid that the kid that is in a position, and then we like that when we put him at third base, and then he was like absolutely lights out at the Cubs Stadium. I don't know if you hit that reference on purpose or not, but shout out Cam. He was the prime example of like a kid that never complained about anything, always worked really hard. And then we put him in a spot that I actually don't know that we had a ton of trust that he could play it, but his attitude and effort were like, hey, he'll probably make a play, and then he was absolute nails. But no, shout out Cam. I think he's at U of A. Hope he's doing well. But I think the kid for me who's going to get kind of like that second look is the kid that never once complains in a practice. One thing I've been really trying to do is set up really difficult practices so they're put in situations where it's hard to succeed. So I think that'll make the games easier. I have already had guys in the fall like complain and like, oh, I can't, whatever the issue is, and it's like, guys, this is supposed to be really hard. That's the design of it. Like, I'm not expecting you to have Mike Trout levels of success at this outfield drill that we have set up to where it's almost impossible to succeed, or this when we're doing curveball machine and I set up Kershaw's prime curveball, like it's going to be you're not supposed to succeed. I'm seeing how you react, and I think the kid that just kind of goes out there and grinds, and I think using the Cam situation, like even if he's not in a position that he's normal or that he's used to playing, I will trust that kid that just goes out there and grinds and never complains in practice rather than a kid that maybe fits that position better, but he maybe isn't the best teammate, or maybe he's not working hard in practice, or maybe his grades aren't in a great spot. Like, I think sometimes I default to that kid, the kid that just kind of goes out there and works way more than a kid that's complaining. Like, I think a good example that Strick and I had is when Gavin Woodruff got hurt that JV year, and then Chris Flores we put in center field, and he ended up going like 4 for 5 off the bench and made like 2 diving plays. And Chris is just a kid that's just like always in it. Like, he's just never a kid that's not locked in. Like, he just loves baseball. And that was at Lee Williams, I think, when Corbin was kind of throwing buckshot to the backstop, so we got in trouble runs wise. But we looked down the bench, and I actually think we probably had a kid that probably could have gone in, was better, was more talented, and so on and so forth. But Chris went in there and had like 3 or 4 hits off the bench, made some plays. Like, I think that kid has earned the opportunity. So let's see what he's got. That's typically how I could try to play that. And shout out Strix. I think he was probably the one that said, "Hey, go to Chris." So.
Yeah, a lot of people say I was the brains of that team.
Do you remember that game, Strix?
I do. I remember on the way out trying to figure out who built that backstop, because that thing didn't even flinch after the berating that it took from Corbin Durr's fastball. And if there's one man who knows how heavy of a ball this guy Corbin throws, it's Mike Langston. Got his thumb blown up by a Corbin Durr sinker.
Do you guys remember the game before that?
I do. Yeah. You kicked a chair out of the field.
Yeah. 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 For
Excited
those of
to go Coach
you,
first.
yeah, for those of you who have ever wondered how bouncy those walls are at Lee Williams, especially if a chair has been kicked against them, Langston can tell you that chair is liable to end up on the third baseline.
By the way, we need to get Corbin on here.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. I think
Do we,
that would
Eventually.
be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Corbin and Cooper, get them both on. That would be fun.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm still nursing a thumb injury. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can handle that.
That trainer didn't tape you up that well?
I guess
Let's
not.
move on.
Man.
I guess not. All right.
When it gets cold.
I'll say this just to wrap up this topic. If you're a player out there wondering how to be the next guy up, it's so simple. Just do what's asked of you.
Mhm.
Like, if you just do what's asked of you, if you show up, if you go to class, you have good grades, you work hard, eventually you will get your opportunity. Eventually you will be that next guy up. It may not be in a moment you want, right? It may not be like, oh, I get to start, but like maybe your team's just getting the shit kicked out of them. And coach is going, all right, let's make some swaps. That might be your opportunity. Okay. But I've seen it at the high school level. I saw it at the college level. You can do everything right. But if you're not like, maybe this isn't the right word, but thankful for that opportunity, like if you get that opportunity and you're poopy pants about the opportunity you get, that's probably going to be your last opportunity. Like that's most likely, like as a coach, you know, I'm like, you know what? Not going our way today. Let's get some guys some looks. I put a kid in and, he's not hustling. He hits a ground ball and he just kind of, 50% sit down the line. Like that, like you just killed your own opportunity there. So truthfully, like if you're a kid that just wants their chance, just do everything you're asked. Like you'll get it. Eventually your time will come. And if you kind of stack that, eventually you'll find your way to where you want to be. Like it's really not that hard. A lot of people have built careers on just doing what they've been asked. Me especially. Like I was never super talented, but my career took me to the college level because I just did everything that was asked for me. I didn't complain, and eventually I found a place that would take me. So not that hard. Is this thing crooked? It's bugging me. Is that crooked?
I wasn't going to say anything, but it's definitely crooked.
Hold on.
You're using your phone level? What are we doing?
I'm
man?
sorry.
The phone level doesn't work.
I'm not at an Ace Hardware right now, Mike.
What are we doing?
It says 0.
I was
Says
saying
we're
it looks
good.
fine to me.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
it's not level. Your
Is it my
volume
camera?
buttons. Your volume buttons make it not level. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
My bad, Dad.
Go get a
Jesus.
level.
My bad. I actually have one in my classroom. Anywho, and that's actually a perfect lead into our next segment.
Oh, it
Because
is.
you guys just got to see Mike Langston get all sorts of riled up because I was using an electronic level on my phone instead of one built during the Industrial Revolution, which leads into our new segment that we're going to run here every now and again because Mike is most definitely the old man of our group. He's got some beautiful children. He's the old guy. And so we're going to run a new segment called Get Off My Lawn, where we're going to give Langston some stuff that he can old man rant about in the baseball world, in the coaching world. For our first segment of Get Off My Lawn, we're going to help him out. We're going to give some of our takes. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you just answered my question. Go ahead.
Okay, sweet. But we're gonna put a little spin on it. It is the holidays. It is Christmas time. So welcome to our first edition of Get Off My Lawn, Naughty or Nice edition. So Langston, I got some stuff here in the baseball world, and I want you to say, hey, doing these things or this thing specifically, does it get you on the naughty list or does it get you on the nice list? Okay.
This is well done, buddy. I like this.
Thank you.
This is good. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and I'm gonna wait till the end. I'm just gonna kind of steer the ship here, but Paz, jump in when you want. So Langston, pickle flavored sunflower seeds, naughty or nice?
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Any specific brand? Because it is different between the brands.
Yeah, I think the classic is Spitz. I think Spitz pickle seeds are probably the best. I think that some of the other ones can maybe go a little over the top. Like I think I love the Bigs in terms of like everyone knows I love their Taco Supreme flavor, but I think their dill pickle can be a little bit much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spitz, dill pickle, nice list.
Okay. Paz, naughty or nice?
So I'm not a big fan of the dill pickle seeds. However, the Spits they're fine. So I'll say they're nice because I tell you what, we're in an age where we're getting some just insane sunflower seed flavors. So I'll throw dill pickle on the nice list.
Okay. And just for the record, some of these things are supposed to be like gimmies. Like it's very much clearly just like a naughty or a nice thing. Some of them are meant to make you think. This next one, Langston, naughty or nice? Afternoon postseason game start times. So it's a postseason game, starts at like 11 o'clock.
Naughty.
Whatever.
What are we doing?
See, there we go.
Naughty.
There's the gimme. Boo indeed. Because I think it was like a Brewers game this year. Started at 11 or
It's
something.
bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta. Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah. Okay. See, so there's your gimme.
Terrible.
My Chicago Cubs hit a playoff at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Manfred, you're a clown and a sellout.
Hey, man, is this my segment or yours?
Yeah. Get off his lawn.
He
dude.
said,
Get off my lawn.
No, we're on the same lawn there. That's a joke.
I just imagine you guys being next to each other in like a retirement community, just beefing about your lawns, just like
I was
that's
gonna say,
mine.
I think
You ever
Langston
seen
and I
the movie
are-
Secondhand Lions?
Good movie.
It's been a
That's you
long
and
time.
Paz.
That's me and Paz sitting on
Yeah.
the porch, dude, with our shotguns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Langston, naughty or nice? Baseball pants that aren't white or gray. So we're talking
Ew.
about the black,
Ew.
I'm not going to say the high school.
Ew.
I saw a high school that was
Stop.
wearing all red.
Stop. Naughty.
Okay.
Those are softball uniforms. Like, if you
Okay.
want to play softball, go play fast pitch softball. Baseball is white or it's gray.
There we go.
Naughty.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Vanderbilt. Started
Nerds.
this whole thing. All right. Pimping home runs. Naughty or nice?
I think
overwhelmingly.
no. So overwhelmingly nice. I think that there's like if you're down 10 runs and you pimp a home run, immediately to the naughty list, straight to jail, dude. Like
Right
absolutely
to jail.
straight to jail.
Yeah.
But like overwhelmingly, I'm good with pimping home runs. I think that there's maybe a point where it can be taken too far where like you are just directly showing a guy up, but like be excited, play the game, like let the kids play, but like have a little bit of feel. That's all
Yeah.
I'm asking. I would say overwhelmingly nice, but if you're getting your ass kicked, just round the bases. Like, let's go.
We need to go back to the pants thing real quick because this is something I saw with my own eyes, and I need both of your takes on because I almost threw up. I was at a 12U tournament to watch Dalton Carlisle's team play. Okay, he is hopping on the pod. Yeah, he will. I was walking. We're at Cactus Yards, so Cactus Yards has like the replica MLB fields that are City of Gilbert is not doing a good job taking care of. I'll add. So shout out to you guys for not caring about the kids. This kid was walking up, gray jersey, okay, blue and yellow lettering. I think they're called like the Blaze or the Fire or something. Gray pants, okay. At the bottom, so this kid had high pants, okay. Where his socks met the bottom of the pants were flames. The ugliest.
Put that kid in a catapult and launch him into the sun. Him and his
Dude,
teammates.
These were the worst uniforms I have ever seen. Flames, probably
No,
that much on the bottom of the pants. Oh my god,
no, dude. I'm not gonna say the school, but there is a school up in the region I live in that wears all red. They look like Santa. It's a red jersey and red pants with a red
awful.
hat. it's potentially the worst the worst uniform I've ever seen. So, yeah, naughty. Wear white or gray. We're skipping your pimp and home run steak pads because you just took up 7 minutes to talk about something we've already talked about. So, next thing, Langston, naughty or nice, wearing hats of teams you don't support. Now, let me preface this.
Don't preface it. Answer the question. No. Answer the question.
No. Okay, go ahead.
You don't need to. Naughty.
Okay, thank you.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What you're listen.
I don't like this from you.
Yep.
I hate it.
This is why I wanted to preface it, but you couldn't shut your mouth.
Hold on. My culture is not your costume. All right? You support the team. You wear the hat of the team you support.
Uh-huh.
Or you don't wear a hat. My culture, not your costume. Get off my lawn.
Yep. Get off his lawn. And I'll back you up on this, Mike. If you're just a random person walking around in a Dodgers hat because it's a cool thing to wear a Dodgers hat, that's fine. But if you're going to come up to me and go, hey, I'm a Cubs fan, and then wear a Sacktown A's hat, you look like a jackass, is what I'll say. Like I'm a Red Sox fan. You couldn't pay me to wear a Yankees hat or like a Yankee shirt. Like I see people all the time. They wear something. Oh, I'm a Red Sox fan. Why the hell are you wearing a Mets hat then? Oh, it's just it's cool. No, it's not. You jerk. Paz.
Hold on. I think an exception could be made for minor league teams. Like if I go and go watch a Myrtle Beach Pelicans game,
yeah, get a hat,
and I buy a hat, like that to me is fine. Yeah. But again, like as a Diamondbacks fan, I'm not gonna wear a Texas Rangers hat.
No,
no. That's just again, like it doesn't make sense to me. Paz can do whatever he wants. He's a grown up.
He's a bad guy,
but he's wrong. Listen, like he can have his opinion even if it's incorrect. So
yeah.
Here is where I draw the line. I personally, if I'm a Cubs fan and I wear a Cardinals hat, I should be put in prison. If you're a Diamondbacks fan and you wear a Dodgers hat, again, prison. Now, my A's and my Tigers, I can wear a hat for my teams. Okay? I think if it's not a direct rival, I don't think there's a problem with it. Also, this is objectively a sweet hat, so I'm going to wear it. Where I draw the line, aside from the rivalries, the people that wear like the all black like version of a team's hat, like an all black whatever Rockies hat, and I'm like, hey, why are you wearing that? Like, oh, it's sick. No, it's not. No, it's not. They don't wear that on the field. Let's get rid of those. Those are awful.
See, I don't care if it's just like a random person. Like if a random guy wants to wear a Dodgers hat.
No, I'm saying this is a baseball fan. This is a baseball person doing this. I'm shouting out a player that I used to coach here.
Okay. All right.
Don't love it.
Well, I think, yeah, that's okay. Next point. Langston, naughty or nice? The utter lack of vests in the MLB.
I'm with you here.
The lack of vests?
Yeah.
Naughty. Naughty. Like, what are we doing? Those are the best uniforms.
A vest, dude.
01 Snakes? Like, come on. The white pinstripes with the purple undershirts? Like, come on. We got to get back to, sometimes if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. We had vests, and now we have all red uniforms. Like, what have they done to the game I love? That's all I'll say.
Reds had a nice vest. Reds had a nice vest. I love vests. I love vests. I think that every team should be mandated to have one. That's how good I think they look. I'm with you 100%. I had a vest with the hometown team I played for growing up. My dad had got a vest for us. It was beautiful. Purple top, Vegas gold pinstripe, Vegas gold undershirt. Oh, it was sick.
Yep. Big vest supporters here on the Hey Coach podcast.
Thankfully, we have flames on baseball pants now, so that's good.
Now, Paz, keep that hat on because this one might spark a little bit of a conversation here. Naughty or nice? The idea of Kyler Murray leaving the NFL and going back to baseball.
I could care less.
Naughty or nice?
As long as he's not the quarterback. Hold on. No, first off, let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
He was not a very good college baseball player. His strikeout rates were through the roof. As a college baseball, I shouldn't say he was drafted first round. He was obviously a good baseball player.
I was
His
going to say, he
strikeout.
was...
Now I will say, was he a Dante Bichette or Jeter? He was probably closer to a Jeter since Bichette's objectively better. Shout out Langston for that crazy take. Murray is going to be really good playing for the Jets next year. Is what he's going to do. He should leave the bat in the closet.
Okay. Langston?
Seconded.
Okay. Seconded.
Real quick, can you give me
right.
3 words to describe Kyler Murray? Go.
Stink, stank, stunk. Okay.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well
All right.
done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Langston, naughty or nice? MLB expanding into Mexico, getting a team in Mexico. Naughty or nice?
Naughty. I don't really have a good reason why. I just it just doesn't feel right.
do.
Like it doesn't feel right. It I don't know. They have their own league. I don't know. It feels like the travel and the everything else I think is just logistically probably like it's a lot. So I don't know. Plus it's America's pastime, and one team out of the United States is quite enough for me. Thank you very much.
Pass?
I think. Well, they have their own league. That's a big one. The MLB has played games there, and they're always 19-16 because the elevation is like way higher than even Denver, and we have pop-ups to the infield leaving for home runs. Like that's a big reason. But there are other U.S. cities that need teams. I think another Canadian team wouldn't be a bad idea because they don't have their own league up there. Like I think
Yes,
that
it
there are. I think simply there are other U.S. like Charlotte would be a good city. Indianapolis, go Racers. New Orleans Zephyrs or whatever they were called, Salt Lake. Like I think there are just other U.S. cities that should have the. Yeah, that's what I said. I think there are other U.S. cities that need one. So I don't think that makes sense at all. Personally, naughty.
Alrighty. So MLB getting a team in Mexico, no bueno. Next one, Langston. Players of any age wearing cameras during games, naughty or nice?
Naughty. What are we doing? This isn't your freaking Instagram feed, man. Go out and play the game. Like you don't need to be an 8-year-old influencer, like freaking whatever Baby Gronk, like that Baby Gronk stuff, and like what he started for like youth sports is outrageous. Like
Travesty.
the kids that are like class of 2032. Oh my god. What are we doing, man? Like you're playing 8U baseball. I don't like watching 8U baseball when I'm there. I don't need it on my social media feed. I'm good, man. Like, let me know when you grow up and maybe you are a part of the correct 90% that Paz was talking about.
Get off his lawn. Dude, this is working out great. God, this is... Welcome to the Get Off My Lawn podcast. This is all we're doing from now on. Paz?
I have nothing to add. I second that.
Alrighty. Last bullet point here.
Wait,
Next.
I got one more thing to say about that. So that,
All right, go ahead.
Have you had that guy pop up on your feed? It's like no, it's a grown up. This is a grown man. Pete Soto 23, I think is his handle. And he's a catcher. And he just like is talking smack and he plays men's league. Like, dude, get off of my For You page. I cannot stand that guy. Like he pops up every once in a while and I'm like, this guy's a bad guy. I don't even know him. He's a bad guy. You're wearing Ray-Ban Metas behind the plate. Get out of here, dude. Play men's league like the rest of us and just relive your glory days for yourself. Nobody else needs to see it.
Where should he get off of?
My lawn.
Such
Drake,
a good
you said
bit.
you have one more.
Yeah, I got one more after
Okay,
this.
I have.
Go ahead.
I have one I'd like to add because I think that
Okay.
Langston's going to explode, but go ahead.
Okay, add it at the end. Being superstitious as a player or coach, naughty or nice?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. That's for sure. When I was playing, like I'd put on like my right cleat before my left cleat, like stuff like that. Which might just be more OCD than superstitious. Like I'm telling you, if I for some reason accidentally put the wrong cleat on first, I would take them off and I would start over. Like, so maybe it's more OCD than anything, but yeah, like a little stitious, like same routines, like getting into the box, which I think it's just good baseball, right? Like we're always taught, like have a routine, go through your routine, because the season's so long and it's a game of failure. So, I think a lot of times it's less of like a superstition thing and more of like having good habits as a player. So I would still say nice.
Yeah, I'm with you there. If I was on hit streak, I would not wash my sliding shorts. I'll tell a quick story. My senior year, I was on like a 12-game hit streak, like just got crazy hot. I hid my sliding shorts because my mom would always wash my clothes after a game. She found them, washed them. I went over for 4. I haven't spoken to my mother since. So I used to keep a $5 bill in my back right pocket. Because I found it one time, and then again it got hot. I wouldn't chew gum. Hold on, I did that. I wouldn't chew gum.
Go ahead.
Because when I was like 12, I got hit 3 times when I was hitting while chewing gum. Never chewed gum in the box again. But those are like my only, like I didn't have like I had to put my shoes on a certain way. I just had those 3 were the big ones.
My high school pregame meal always remained the same after I found some success at the plate. So
Yeah.
I still remember I'd go to every game day. So like think about in high school, it's usually like twice a week, right? Go to Burger King and get a few of those rodeo burgers and some onion rings with a large Coke. And that was my pregame meal for a good part of my high school career because I one time had that and then went 4 for 4. So, yeah. So superstitions, nice.
Very nice.
Coach
Very
Payton,
nice.
Coach Payton that was on last week. He used to eat a monster. He used to eat a monster thick burger from Hardee's, which is Carl's Jr. out here before every single game. That was special watching that. But I completely forgot about that. Every game day when we had school, we'd go to lunch and we'd get a monster, and that thing is gone like that. Oh my god. That's good. I completely forgot about
Alrighty.
that.
Well, that's all I got. Paz, you got one more?
Yeah, so this is something that bugs me to no end, and I'm curious on both of your thoughts. I hate this so much. Teams that bring their own music and play their own walk-up songs with a speaker on the road. So their mom or dad is playing the walk-ups. The team already has music. Naughty or nice?
You're talking about like a road team.
Yeah. The away team is bringing
Naughty.
their own music, their own walk. Yeah.
Naughty.
Yeah, you know what? Naughty. Shout out the ASU club baseball team because they do that shit and it drives me fucking bananas. Like, that is ridiculous. And I want them to come up to 7,000 feet above God's green earth so I could just drown them out with our speaker.
Oh,
Bananas. Like, what are you doing? Have some feel, man. Have some feel. You are the away team. You do not get walk-up songs. You do not get to choose the in-between inning songs. That is not your game to do that. Now, youth sports, I could probably give a pass because these moms
What
just
age?
want their 9-year-old
What age?
kid to like young kids. Like, I think it's cool for like young kids if you're talking like 8, 9 years old. Like, who cares? Most of those are neutral site anyway. Like, I still think that between innings stuff probably needs to be deferred to the home team, but like if you want to play your little kid's walk-up song, whatever. But like
Yeah.
once you get to higher levels, like it's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. You don't go to Chase Field and the Dodgers get their walk-up songs. That's ridiculous. Be a grown-up. Let the home team pick the songs.
Anything to
All
add,
right, I'm
Stretch?
Whoa. Yeah, no, there was a lot of really, really good points made by Mike. Thank you, Mike, for that. No, I just think it's a smaller piece of a bit bigger picture, which is you have to have it. Like, oh, we want it, so we have to get it. We've all seen it. Like, you tell kids nowadays, no, you can't do that. You might as well have just spin kicked their grandma in the jaw.
The world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's a I never once complained about that when I was a high school athlete. I was never once like, oh, we're on the road and we don't get to our walk-up songs. I'm like, no, that's just the way it is. When you're the home team, you get certain things the away team doesn't. But yeah, no, that's all I got for it. I'm glad Mike's wearing those headphones, or else we would have seen some steam coming out of his ears.
I had to coach
But no,
middle school
that-
baseball. Hold on. I had to coach middle school baseball this year, and it's the first time I've coached this age group in a long time. This one team, I can't even remember who we played. We have an announcer, like at the middle school level, we have an announcer. Our kids had walk-up songs. His name's Darius. He's a paraplegic. Like, he's a freaking great kid.
Shout out
got into
Darius.
Stanford. Yeah, he got into Stanford at a high school. Like, dude, just Darius is the man. And Darius like works really hard at doing this. Like, builds the playlist, and he's just a man. So we're playing this team, and this is probably like 3 or 4 games into the season. I can't remember who it was. I know they were red. But they came up, and I saw they had a speaker, and they played it quietly while they were getting warmed up. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to say anything because our speaker drowned theirs out. I didn't care. We have a really good sound system. So obviously they're the away team. They start playing walk-up songs, and I said something to their coach, like, hey, is our announcer not good enough for you? Because I was pissed. And he goes, like, didn't know what to say. And then he goes, okay, I'll talk to him. I'm like, okay. So second inning, they play it again. I go, hey, man, what's the problem here? And he just ignored me. So I hate it. Get it off my lawn. Darius is the man. Shout out.
Shout out Darius. Well,
Yeah.
Shout out Darius.
I think we're gonna bring Get Off My Lawn back. That was fun. That was a good time. And you know what? If you would like to see us bring Get Off My Lawn back, let us know down in the comments below. Again, there you can find us on Spotify podcasts or YouTube at the Hey Coach Podcast. You could find us on Instagram as well at Hey Coach Podcast. It's something. I can't really remember right now. I'll do a better job of that in the future. But no, we'd like to, again, thank everybody who's been watching. Thank you, Tyler, for commenting on every single video. We got to find a way to get that guy on the payroll. But yeah, no, thanks anybody who has provided us with any sort of support. Again, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, as this is going out on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to our families. You guys got anything?
No, thank
Merry
you
Christmas.
guys.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
All right.
thanks for all the listeners.
Well,
Merry
guys,
Christmas.
This has been the Hey Coach Podcast. Make sure to like and follow so you don't ever miss anything from us. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Love you.